CEO.CA, the leading community for investors in junior resource and venture stocks. My name is Amrit Gill, and today we're joined by Scott Casselman, VP of Exploration at Rackla Metals. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Amrit. Thanks for having me.
So in 60 seconds or less, give us an elevator pitch for Rackla.
Rackla is a junior mining company based in Vancouver. We're focusing all of our exploration activities in northern Canada and the Yukon and Northwest Territories, and specifically looking for a type of gold deposit known as a Reduced Intrusion-Related Gold System, or RIRGS. These targets have become quite popular in the Yukon, Alaska, and in the Northwest Territories over the last couple of years because of a number of recent discoveries in the neighborhood, and that brought Rackla back to the Yukon to look for these. So that's become our focus in the last year.
And Scott, can you give our viewers an overview of the HIT property?
So the HIT property is one of 8 properties that we have. It is located in the Yukon, right at the Yukon Northwest Territories border and very close to the North Canal Road. It has a long but sporadic history of exploration dating back to the 1970s when companies were looking for tungsten in that area. Our property is very close to a large tungsten resource at the Mac Tung tungsten property. So in the 70s they were focused on tungsten. They did a little bit of work then. And then it went dormant for a little while, and companies went back in the 80s, again focused on the HIT property, looking for lead-zinc mineralization, but they found more gold than they did lead-zinc. And then in the 90s again, there was another round of exploration activity focused on copper and gold at the time. They continued to get good gold anomalies. And then in the 2006, the first drilling was done marginal to the intrusion that's on the HIT property. That was by another company. And then Rackla optioned it in late last summer, 2002, and we've really had only 3 months of exploration in the summer of 2023, basically from June through to September.
And tell us about the Airborne Mag Survey and what indicators there are suggesting a reduced intrusion-related gold system.
So one of the first things we did this year was to fly an airborne magnetic, electromagnetic, and radiometric survey on the property. And one of the characteristics of reduced intrusion-related gold systems is that in the Yukon and Northwest Territories, first thing is that those intrusions that host mineralization are generally of Cretaceous age. There are 3 Cretaceous suites of intrusion that are prospective, those being the Tombstone, Tungsten, and Mayo suite of intrusion. And at HIT, it is a tungsten suite. And those intrusions have a characteristic magnetic signature, which is, because they're reduced, they tend not to have the magnetic mineral magnetite in them. They tend to have a mineral called ilmenite, which is not very magnetic. So when you do a mag survey, you find that the center of the intrusion is usually a magnetic low, and the margins of the intrusion, where that hot intrusive rock has come into, in our case, sedimentary rocks, that intrusion usually alters the margins and alters minerals in the margin, like pyrite, to pyrrhotite, which is magnetic. So you'll get a characteristic bullseye magnetic signature, which is a high magnetic rim with a low magnetic center. And HIT demonstrates that spectacularly. The other feature of reduced intrusion-related gold systems is their chemical association. So we've known through all of the historic work and our work in 2023 that there is lots of gold in the system at HIT, but that gold tends to have an association with bismuth, tellurium, arsenic, and tungsten. And we're seeing that chemical association in our rock samples, soil samples, stream sediment samples, and even in drill core.
And Scott, could you elaborate on the sheeted quartz-sulphide veins and their significance?
Yeah, very much so. So there's deposits again throughout Yukon and Alaska, and new discoveries in the Yukon. One of the key new discoveries is Snowline Gold's discovery, which is located about 70 kilometers from us at their valley target. All of those deposits have a characteristic nature to the veining in the deposit. When these intrusions come in and they cool, the magma condenses and shrinks and fractures. And characteristic of these deposits is that those fractures tend to occur in a particular direction, and they create a number of openings which are then filled with quartz, sulphide minerals, and gold. And they occur as sheets. And we at the HIT have discovered an extensive array of sheeted veining throughout the intrusion, but particularly in the northwest corner where we focused our drill results and got some excellent numbers in 2 of our drill holes this year. We drilled 5 holes for a total of just under 1,000 meters, and 2 of those returned significant sheeted veining from the top of the hole to the bottom. Those holes were drilled from the same drill pad in opposite directions, and the full breadth of the sheeted veining that we see there is over 270 meters in width. So sheeted veins are the mechanism by which the gold is delivered into the system, and they can be a critical feature in determining what your concentration of gold will be based on the density of sheeted veining.
And what does Rackla have planned from now until early 2024?
We completed our field program in mid-September. We're receiving our assay results now. We expect to have the final assay results in momentarily. We also gathered a whole bunch of other information from the Airborne Geophysical Survey, the drill results, the mapping and prospecting that we did at HIT, as well as 2 other properties immediately adjacent to HIT, and 5 other properties in the Yukon and Northwest Territories. So we'll be compiling all of that data, comparing where we're getting the results that are high in gold with various geological, geochemical, and geophysical features to work on targeting for next year. And we plan to get back on site early in May or middle May of next year to expand on that drill program and target the drill results that we were very encouraged to get from our 2023 program.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with the community at CEO.CA?
No, just that we'll be press releasing these results over the next few weeks and months as we get into the fall season. We'll be attending the whole range of conferences in Northern Canada, Northwest Territories, in Yellowknife, in Whitehorse. We'll be at Roundup and at PDAC. We're going to have core displays at a variety of those conferences, so we encourage people to come and check out our core. It looks really nice, and talk to us about the deposit.
Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you, Amrit.